It's time I built a system to collect the millions of drops my EOL farm gives me. Simple hoppers aren't quite fast enough for that, and chests aren't big enough. So I created a very elegant system and a much faster shulker farm so I could store everything. And I also made a fancy new display room, a beacon that changes colours, and an AFK XP farm so that my pickaxe never breaks again. Also guys, I'm trying to hit 4 million subscribers before the end of the year, so if you enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe. First things first, we're going to go out and find another notch chapel. And the way I shall do that is by flying very, very far away, building a portal, that's not my best efforts, and then heading on through. And from here I want to search for deserts, and not be stuck in a cave. I finally made it out, and tracked down a desert. Here's the first of the pyramids, and no notch chapel in here. Seems that this one is directly in a village. If I go into this person's house, yeah, what on earth is going on here, mate? Don't mind me, just mining on through. There's a farm in here. This is a very, very cool one, to be honest. But the villagers have not... They have delivered, okay? I take it all back, guys. Well, I never. It only took 2 of these pyramids, and we have a notch chapel. You guys enjoy, but mind the TNT down there. Now I can build another portal and head on home. And it's very nice having all of these notch chapels, but I think it would be a lot nicer if they were all on display. So that's the next thing that I'm going to build. There's going to be some pretty major changes down here by the time I've finished. To start off with, we're going to be going a lot more open plan. This beacon is going to have to go. I definitely didn't plan to do this 5 minutes ago. It's a bit of a spur of the moment thing. So I'm thinking all these gaps up here should be changed to be blackstone. And then if I mine out this ceiling, then I can fill all this in as well. It's starting to look better. Now, emphasis on the word starting. I think there's still a long way to go to get it to ship-shape condition. More stone bricks around here is going to help. Let's also get rid of this excess stone, and I'll try black stone underneath. I think I like the way that this looks. I'm not entirely sure where I'm going with this, to be honest. But let's see what a checkerboard pattern of diamond ore would look like. It's got an interesting look, but it's not quite right. Solid deep slate does look a bit better. We've tried a few different things. What do you think? Bit of glowstone, beacons. Gone all out here, haven't I? Now, where am I going to put the notch chapels? Well, I'm going to grab some glass panes and some glass and see how a wall along here would look. And so this is how the wall is going to look. Next, I'm going to put all of them in. You know what I'm starting to think already? I think these shouldn't be glass panes. I think they should be actual glass. Let's try that instead. If I place them quick enough, look at that, they won't even pop off. And that is my display board complete. I've got space for 12 more, which should keep me going for a while. Actually, you know what? Make that 11 more. It just looks a little skewy for now. And now there's just something missing from my house. Yes, we need a new beacon ray. And I reckon building one that actually alternates colours could be very, very cool indeed. It's a very, very simple contraption. I've got all the materials that I need. This is where the beacon shall be. Now to start adding everything in. Now to add pistons in these different spots. And I'm going to need 3 of each glass, so it's going to be up this high. There's also going to be pistons behind the higher up ones as well. Just like that. Starting to feel a little bit claustrophobic in here. So let's go and add 4 tick delay repeaters all along here. This will be for going into every single one of the pistons. Got a slime mechanism here, and the final thing to be done is cover all of these blocks in redstone. That is all the dust down, and theoretically when I do this it should be working, and look at that, it's changing colour. Now to dig underneath of it and turn this single layered beacon into a full one. Now to try and get out of here, and that looks pretty good if you ask me. As you can see, it just cycles through all of the colours, all of the different shades. Yeah, I really like that. And so the notch chapel display room is more or less complete. And I got quite a few emerald blocks from that, which means I can repair the floor in my treasure room. The repairing of this place will have to be done later. And now, I don't know what I did, but I have lost my food shulker box. Don't know where I left it. I'm thinking maybe it was at the EOL farm. So I'm going to go and have a look. There doesn't seem to be any sign of it. So instead, I'm going to head to the hoglin farm and AFK there for a bit more food. Now that plenty of time has passed and I've got loads of pork chops, I'm going to grab a new orange shulker box and fill them up. I'm sure the other one will turn up eventually. It feels strange every time I come upstairs and I see something completely different to what I'm used to. But it has to be said, I do really, really like it. And something else that I really, really liked is somebody downloaded my world and then tweeted me a picture where they had colour coordinated my beacons. You know what I think? Well, I think the white stained glass is kind of useless, but I think it makes the beams look even better. And now it's time to build a collection system for my end of light farm, which does unfortunately mean building another update suppressor. I was hoping that I'd be done with them by now, but it looks like I'm going to have to build one just one final time. This one's going to be a lot smaller and more compact than the last one, because this slice bottle right here needs to be much higher up. Also, here's all the items I got for briefly running the EOL farm last time. Quite a lot. In fact, if I just fly on down, I don't think I can even begin to fit all of this into shulker boxes. My goodness, guys. I'm just starting to realise how crazy OP this farm is going to be. Like, I can't even you know, fit anywhere near all this stuff into a shulker box. Almost feel sad just letting all of those items despawn. Now, before building this suppressor, I'm creating a massive platform so that when I break it all, I won't lose all my items into lava. But now, finish that, let's grab the sandstone and start building this thing. And just like all suppressors, this one will involve placing a lot of rails. That's the first layer done. It's definitely much faster building this one than the last one, but different types of suppressors are useful for different things. This suppressor wouldn't have been useful for doing all of the slice portals in the AOL farm because it's too small, but for the sake of this little slice portal, it's pretty useful. And that is the second layer completed, the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and the eighth layer is also done, which means they're all done. Yeah, it looks pretty awesome, doesn't it? There's just a little bit more redstone to be added. These rails along here is where the update suppressing will be taking place. Once I place this redstone block, everything is done. So I can grab the obsidian and the flint and steel, build a portal right here, and I can turn on the suppressor by doing that. Light up the portal because I forgot to do it. If I break this obsidian, watch what happens. It's a beautiful moment. Look at that. Nothing happens to the portal. Do the same with these obsidian blocks, and there you have it. A completely, perfectly working slice portal that's a bit higher than that one. And now I have the very fun project of just mining absolutely everything up. And that is the whole thing removed just like that. That was a lot quicker than having to build it. And now before building the next part of the collection system, I think it's a good idea for me to fly over here, head to my pigman farm, and repair all my items. And now I think it's time I fix the light levels on my EOL farm. This is going to require loads and loads of netherrack, and a lightning rod will also be very useful. Now before I do any of the light suppressing, I first need to build another giant roof at y equals -51. I should also probably go to sleep, otherwise I'm going to end up with millions of bats spawning. That just sounds like a very stressful experience. The reason that my skylight suppression didn't work before is because I accidentally built this platform a couple of blocks too high. But the person who made the EOL tutorial sensei has explained it to me, so now there'll be no more mistakes. And finally, the entire roof is finished. I don't ever want to have to do that ever again. Now to grab a bit of string, start the timer on the light suppressor, and head all the way back to the EOL farm. It's currently on a timer so that I can actually load in all of these chunks. And whilst I wait for it to kick in, I'm going to go ahead and add a lightning rod up here, because otherwise lightning could mess up the levels on this farm. You know, if something sets on fire, it'll brighten it up, all that kind of thing. So this will just absorb all the lightning in a thunderstorm and solve that problem. Enough time has passed, I can go ahead and fly around, and as you can see, new chunks are just not loading in. That means the light suppressor is definitely working. Now to turn on chunk borders, and I'm going to add a piece of string to every chunk. That will make it so that the lighting doesn't break at a later date on the farm. Adding the string does slightly lower the rates, but it's only by a very, very tiny amount. And if it means that the farm is never ever going to break, then that is worth it to me. Now to save and quit the game, then kill Minecraft in Task Manager. Then when I load it back up, the game will still think that it's dark down there, which is why things like bats are spawning. And now I just have to try and get back to spawn. Of course, you know, we are going to be overrun with bats. And I'm just going to mine my way out of here. Next, I can fly up to the suppressor at spawn and switch it off. Now to create the drop chutes, a lot of glass will be needed, as well as hoppers, droppers, and a bunch of other redstone items. Let's also grab a shulker box, and then it can be filled with lava. First things first, let's create a bit of a border around this portal. And this area right here is what is going to deal with all of the spiders. The outside is going to have glass with gates all around here and lava in these parts. And so the spiders will get taken out by the lava and their items go into the hoppers. And now to build the exact same thing on this side. There we go, that looks perfect to me. And now to build the massive glass chute, which is what all of these mobs are going to fall down. That is now complete. And I've got a few warped fence gates, but I could probably do with quite a few more. So I'm going to fly over to this warped forest and mine up some of the trees. Then all of those can be turned into way more gates. We've got plenty now. And now to build the system that's going to deal with the excess bats. There's going to be lava like this, and then the bats will fly into it, no the mob can. The bats will stop spawning. Don't do that, SP. I was about to say that the bats will stop spawning once you've been running the farm for about a minute. But doing this will mean you haven't got about 1,000 of them just chilling in the tube. And now I am fresh out of lava. Well, thankfully we're in a place where lava isn't that hard to find. I can very quickly restock by doing this. And now it's back to placing it all again. And that is all of the lava down. Those bats don't stand a chance. Before I can do much more, I need to get rid of all these portals and the glass down here. Goodbye, original slice portal. It was nice knowing you. Well, that is pretty much all the glass gone. I'll deal with that a lot later. Let's just get this chute brought down a bit lower. And now I need to quickly pop home, grab some pistons and iron bars. Then I'm going to head to the end, fly to an end city, and grab lots of end rods. I'll also grab a bunch of chorus fruit, so that next time I need end rods, I don't have to come all this way. And now I'm going to place iron bars and also end rods along here. And in theory, all of this redstone should make it so that, yeah, look at that. We've got a moving floor now. And so mobs will land on here and then they will fall through. but they will take damage and probably die before that happens. Okay, what am I doing here? I was fresh out of firework rockets, would you believe it? So yeah, the items will be able to fall through, but the mobs won't. Except for the baby slimes, which I will deal with next. Now, to build the exact same thing as there on this level, the reason I use a mix of iron bars and end rods is because sometimes the items will get stuck if I only use end rods. And if I use only iron bars, as you can see, they all attach up to each other. And this one should now be working perfectly as well. And this right here is the part where pistons are going to push all of the items into the middle. This will make them much easier to deal with in the next section. And all this creates a nice little clock that pushes each piston individually like so. And any items that are just sprinkled around like this, notice how they will gradually get pushed into the middle. For this next bit, we're going to need blue ice, as well as some slime and string. And to get blue ice, I'm going to have to mine up loads of all of this ice. However, my pickaxe probably won't survive that. Also, apparently hidden under the snow here, there's shulker boxes with loads of ice in them. That's kind of cool. Might as well start crafting. And before I grab any more ice, let's get this pickaxe repaired. That's everything fixed up. Now to mine up loads of ice. Made it to the end, and this is all of the ice I've got. Time to craft it up, and it gives me a grand total of about 73 blue ice. But wait, there's more ice here, and that means I have 89 pieces. Actually, 79 I am. Apparently can't count. For the next part, a lot of redstone components will be needed. And I think for now, I've got enough of everything that I need. Let's go and build a massive storage system. So the items are going to land on this block right here. Let's also turn this off. The noise is kind of driving me crazy. There's going to be a slime here and a sticky piston that will push the slime block. The magma's also driving me crazy, so I'm just covering it up. And from here, I would dig in this direction, but as you can see, there's lava in the way. And rather than clear out the lava, I'll just go ahead and make it so the items go in this direction. So the items will go on this blue ice and be fired over in this direction. And they're going to go about this far before dropping downwards. And if I place a few ender chests here, when the items are fired along, as you can see, because this is slightly smaller than the block, it's kind of partway on this block as well. And then hoppers along here can go into comparators, and when they get fired along this ice, these hoppers will be able to collect them. It's a pretty foolproof plan, but for the amount of items that are going to be coming through here, I'm going to need a lot of hoppers. Also, after a bit of further thought, I'm going to make this pathway right here quite a bit longer. I also get the very fun job of having to deal with lava because we're in the nether. This is the general shape of it so far. If I may go any further than this and out the chunk, then the chunk will not be loaded at all. Only a 3x3 around that portal will work. A bit of string here is going to detect when items come down and activate this piston. As you can see, it works like a charm. Then some more string here will extend this piston. So if I go ahead and test it out, okay, that went to there. And what happened here? I'm just an idiot and can't do basic redstone apparently. Time for take two. So they are going to be shot along there. And then obviously these items are going straight into this hopper. But if I fill all of these up, then they'll be shot a lot further along. And this is how the corner system is going to work. So when an item gets to that corner, as you can see, it will get pushed, although why has it got stuck? You know, I think it's in my best interest to move everything a bit lower. That way there'll be no need to worry about items getting stuck. And on take two, everything seems to be working as intended. The blue ice in this direction goes all the way down there. Now to turn another corner and repeat the same process again. I also think it's time that I got rid of this massive... Oh, don't do that. But yeah, there's a massive lake right here. And I think it's time I got out my scaffolding and got rid of it all. And finally, I have made it down to bedrock. Now I can get back to building my storage system. Hard to believe that not that long ago this was full of lava. Look at that, found a bit of ancient debris whilst I'm digging everything out. Makes sense that this would happen when you're mining such a massive area. Plenty more of the area has been mined out. But before I go any further, I should definitely heal up my pickaxe. I don't want to have a breakage on my hands. And I also need to mine up lots more ice. Getting blue ice is a very expensive task. I went around this a few times and managed to get 60 blue ice from all of that. In fact, 61. Now to repair my pickaxe again and continue building this collection system. And once again, I have run out of ice. To be completely honest, I've probably got enough where there'll be enough hoppers to collect everything. But just in case, I'm going to mine up even more ice. I only got 14 blue ice from all that. So I'm thinking it may just be quicker to mine it from the bottom of these icebergs. And I can also get loads of packed ice this way as well. From that, I got so much blue ice. Yeah, that should see me through for the rest of the build. I've been adding the slime piston system to this, but then I ran out of ender chests. I could use something cheaper like normal chests, like a normal person would. But hey, I'm rich, I've got loads of obsidian, so I might as well use it. Although despite being so apparently rich, I only have 32 blaze powder, which isn't a huge amount. It's enough to make the ender chests I need to finish the build, but I should definitely take a trip to the blaze farm at some point. Now to add the hoppers, the comparators, and all of the redstone. I have now run out of comparators, and I'm nearly out of redstone, just a few blocks left. So I shall fly home, buy more redstone, which mends my pickaxe at the same time, and then I'm going to craft many more comparators and many more repeaters. And with these new materials, those, I can finish adding all of the redstone. It's going to be a very straightforward sorting system. You've seen me build these many times before. It'll just involve these hoppers going into chests with redstone torches right here, repeaters going into those torches, and then redstone dust on this bit. And that creates an item sorter. And the next thing I'm going to need to build under here is some shulker box loaders. But to build those, I'm going to need loads and loads of shulker shells. And this shulker farm was pretty good when it was first built, but it's time I built a much faster one using portals. And I reckon right here is the perfect place to build it. That's the area cleared out. Now to grab all of the materials and begin building this. 19 by 19 is going to be the size of the portals, and there's going to be a glass wall 1 block away from it. Now that that's complete, and I'm going to build another portal right here, followed by another wall and another portal. And I have now completed building 5 portals. Right here is where the shulker that is going to be duplicating itself is going to go. And these stairs are good because the shulkers can only attach to one side. And in here is going to be where my snow golems go, but I've got a problem. I don't have a single pumpkin. Although that's kind of a lie. I have loads and loads of pumpkins. They just need to be harvested. Also, it would appear that the golems have made an absolute mess of this. Yeah, I just need to rebuild the iron farm higher up. Got loads of pumpkins from that. Over, yeah, 49 of them. And there's some in here as well. Let's grab those. Now to carve 24 of them, which for some reason is a very satisfying process. The seeds can be sent for composting, and all of these can be mined up. Now to begin spawning in all the golems. That's 24 of them in there. Any more and they'd start dying. And this trapdoor will keep them safe. And now we can continue building the chamber for the shulker. She's going to have a banner right here. I'm going to waterlog the trapdoor and add 2 more obsidian right there. Next, I'll light a portal and build a corresponding portal above the bedrock. Back in the day, this was all very useful for transporting shulkers, but I think I can break it all now. Right here is where I'm going to build a bit of a collection system. Pistons along here are going to be pushing the shulkers, and these observers will detect if there is a shulker actually there. Same thing's going to be on this side, and every piston will have redstone behind it, so you can see if something updates. Okay, well, don't do that, SP. Maybe just with a normal block. As you can see, the pistons extend. Going to use slabs to stop the shulkers teleporting onto the observers. Trapdoors to hold them in place. And I've just realised these pistons and observers are in the wrong place. Couldn't even build it symmetrical with the other side, could I? Now everything is built correctly. And now it's working much better. Everything is spawn-proofed. String along here will allow the observers to detect the shulkers. And wither roses will damage them. I'm going to do the same on this side. And all I need to do now is build a system for a backup shulker, which will be just in case my main shulker dies and I need to replace it. Just realised I've actually built this on the wrong side and it needs to be redone. After moving it to this side, I realised it doesn't actually matter which side you put it on, but yeah, so that should work fine. Let's light up the portal, extend the storage down a little bit further, and remove a bit more around the edge of this portal here. In fact, I'm just going to completely remove the portal full stop, and everything's complete. All I need is a few shulkers. We're going to go and head through this just to make sure that it connects up properly. And look at that, it does. And I think it's going to be easiest and makes the most sense to just take the shulker from this farm. So the shulker will be able to teleport onto this block, and I just need to make a long bridge all the way to there. That is this bridge complete, and that is all of the rails down as well. Right here, I've set up the area where the shulker is going to go. Steal this minecart for the process. Okay, well, please come out. And now when I break this, in theory... Oh no, don't kill it. No, no. Okay, that could all go wrong. I think it's okay. Bit of a close shave, but let's just get rid of the lava before I do this. The shulker is teleported onto the piston, so we'll go ahead and break the pistons now. Right now it's searching. Okay, yeah, perfect. It has now found the block that needs to land on. I'm then going to be very brave and flick this lever. There you go. Look at the snow golem send a few stray snowballs. It's no use, mate. You're just too far away. And now the shulker is traveling at very high speeds down here. He's gonna drop into my chamber. He's on the block I need him to be. I'm gonna push the pistons in. I can break all of this scaffolding, and it's ready. The farm is completely ready. I'll just light up all of the portals and flick this lever, which will set the farm off. All right, there we go. We've got a shulker. Where is it? I think he's already gone through, you know. And would you look at that, guys? It's not properly working. This is going to get very messy very, very fast if I do not quickly get rid of this iron golem portal. Don't teleport me through. Just break, okay? We can make a new iron farm that's bigger and better. Now I've got 60 million shulkers to deal with, but that's nothing I can't handle. That's the last of them. And I'm very happy to see that they are now going through into here. Okay, maybe I shouldn't do that, but it's working. They're getting taken out by the wither roses. My backup shulkers are right there, and already the shulker shells are coming in. So whilst that is very, very good news, one duplicating shulker is... it's just not enough for me. So yes, you guessed it. I'm going to build another one of these so I can get twice as many shulker shells. Also, a wither rose with a turtle egg on top will deal with any stray pigmen that come through the portals. Before I begun building, I wanted a bit of snow to spawn more golems, and I got a little bit carried away. But all this snow will be very useful for a future date. And over the last 15 minutes or so, my farm has got me nearly 2 stacks of shulker shells. I'm pretty happy with the performance. Although I am now going to make it much, much bigger. I built another 2 layers of the farm. And to finish it off, I just need the 3rd shulker, which is going to go in this minecart. Let's go ahead and place a minecart right there, which has sent a shulker through the portal. Then I head over here and flick this lever, which sends him on down. Yes, it does. And to get him properly in, I just turn that on. Perfect. Let's go and break the pistons. And I'm going to light up all of the portals. And that is 3 shulker farms complete. If I flick this lever, the farm will begin. All the other ones seem to be working fine as well, so it is going at triple the speed as it was before. And just look at all of the shulker shells that I'm getting. All of this is definitely going to be enough to work for my EOL farm drops. And now to build the shulker storage system. Most of the items I'm going to need for the shulker loader are in that box, but I'm also going to need a load of dispensers and a load of barrels. And now let's start building this. So we'll start with a couple of hoppers coming down. Into this hopper there will be an observer and another one facing down. Piston right here that will have a barrel behind it. This dispenser is what is going to send out the shulker boxes, and this comparator is going to detect if they're full. Another observer is going to be there with a torch on the end, and then an observer kind of going, well, it'll be going this way. No, it'll be going this way. And if I put a shulker box on here that is almost full, just for demonstration purposes, it can be like that. And a stack of items can be filtering in. And once this box gets filled up, that does that, and you can see the shulker will go into there. And yeah, okay, I was wondering where that comparator came from. That was just from me earlier. And a new shulker box gets placed right there. So yeah, it worked perfectly. And so now I'm going to create a row of these all the way along underneath this ice. And it seems that the easiest way to do that is just to place every single thing in a row. Or at the very least, that makes it much faster to build. And that is 19 of these all in a row completed. Now to complete the redstone for the sorting system part and start creating shulker boxes. All of them just go into this barrel. And this has made me realize that I'm missing some hoppers, because there should be hoppers like that so that they can actually go into the dropper. I have now run out of shulker shells, so I've just got these 11 left. But I have still got quite a few barrels left to fill, as you can see. So I'm going to fly over to the shulker farm and see just how many shells I've now got. Look at that. That's a lovely little boost. And it seems like the farm is working as intended. There's shulkers around. Although apparently the shulker in this top one has died. But thankfully it's a pretty quick process to get it back. Now I just need a bit of scaffolding here. Activate to rail on top with a lever. Open this up with sticky pistons. Send a shulker through. And now to send him down and close that, pushes him in. And okay, teleport, I don't think that's meant to happen. Always remember to turn the farm off when loading in a new shulker. Time for take 2, and that is mission successful. Now to light up the portal and turn the farm on. Whilst I was dealing with that extra shulker, loads more shells have been coming through, and all of these will be used to get even more shulker boxes. All of the shulker boxes along here for the rotten flesh are done. Now to craft a load more hoppers and place them along here. Now I'm going to quickly fly home, get some yellow dye and white dye, and I've also got a bunch of other colours as well. It would be useful to have even more yellow, so I'm going to get lots and lots of dandelions from the flower farm. I reckon all of this should be enough. That's been a pretty successful mission in my opinion. And now to continue loading up shulker boxes. Everything on this straight is now fully loaded and ready to go, so now it's time to add some along here. I have realised a slight flaw to my system. I can't build a shulker loader going this way because this shulker loader's in the way. I've managed to make room for all of these. I think I might even remove these 2 end chests and this whole system just so that it's kind of a better corner. But that's something I'll worry about at the very end. I've now run out of droppers, I've run out of dispensers, I've run out of observers, and I'm out of cobblestone. So I think it's time I did some restocking. Although apparently I already have tons of cobblestone in these chests. In fact, they're overflowing. So it's very convenient that I built a shulker farm because I can now fill all of these shulker boxes. But 4 shulker boxes worth isn't going to be enough. I want even more. Guys, I've got bad news. I left the cobblestone farm running for too long and let me pickaxe break. I did get a lot of cobblestone from it though. So on the plus side, I can fill up loads more shulker boxes. And now I'm going to buy more books and get my pickaxe back. And whilst I'm here, I might as well buy a load more redstone. It's very sad to say, but that is every single one of my emeralds gone. And I think it's a real problem that my pickaxe doesn't last forever when using this farm. So I'm going to create a super quick and easy little farm that will give me XP whilst I'm AFK. Although to build this, I'm going to need quite a bit more glass. And whilst that's smelting, I'm going to dig out a massive hole. I think this room is going to be big enough. Kind of ironically, I'm building this so I can get more cobblestone, but I got loads of cobblestone just from mining all this out. And now to start building some giant portals. Times like this that I made a wither-powered obsidian farm because I just use so much obsidian for stuff. And having to manually mine all this up would have just taken forever. Using scaffolding is the only way I can see that I can realistically do the roof. Either that or I'd have to just build massive towers everywhere. And that is the roof done, as well as this wall. Before I light them, I'm also going to do all of the portals on this side, and also the mechanism in the middle. And at long last, every single portal is built. Now, pigmen are going to spawn in these portals, and they are then going to go after a turtle egg. If I put the turtle egg right here and then a hole here, they'll be stupid enough to think they can get it and walk down the hole. Although to make sure that they're stupid enough, I'm going to use trapdoors to trick them. This is the tube that they'll be rising upwards in. I'm also going to need to get a pigman into that hole there, so I'm just going to build a temporary tube right here. Sign can go there, and we're going to have a load of water that's going to be flowing all the way down here. Might as well finish this tube as well while I'm at it. There we go, looking pretty good. Let's add the trapdoors. And now for the system that's going to be down here. Place that there. I am going to need a load of kelp as well. So yeah, let's just make it all into water sources now. Now the trick at the bottom here is to have a little wall so that when you walk along here, you can see it just steps you straight up. I'm also going to break all of these, and that water can go there, and then we can kind of just do something like this. So yeah, they'll fall in here, they'll get pushed along, and then from here, they will get pushed by other pigmen and go all the way up. From this bit, I'd better make this wall a little bit higher. But one of the guys is going to float along and fall down there. I'll just have to light up a bunch of portals to get him to show up. Now then, we have got a pigman coming through. He's fallen down the hole and he is rising up. And there we go. He's trapped in there. Although apparently I have no name tags. That's a slight problem. Oh no, I'm just blind, guys. Seems to be a few come in as well. Right, look, we can only have room for one in here. Okay, the rest of you, you're just going to have to land on glass. We're going to call him Aggressive Man because he's going to be making everybody else angry. And now I've just got to work out how I'm going to modify this farm so that the pigmen will drop next to me. Who'd have thought someone would have put this much effort into just farming cobblestone? I know I could just use a TNT duper and make it AFK, but I don't really like using TNT dupers when I'm farming for resources. I'm starting to get a decent design together now. This door will instead be here. All of this crying obsidian is going to instead be hoppers with stairs on the sides, and underneath the hoppers is also going to be this crying obsidian. And all of these need to be waterlogged, which is quite convenient because I'm right by a river. And then lava is to go on top of the water. This is looking very good indeed. Although I have realized that it's a little bit flawed because the water can't always get through. But it's actually more efficient to look at it at this angle anyway, which then works fine. And the pigmen are going to be landing right here. Got a little bit carried away with building this tower. I made it way too high. Now, if I've built this correctly, when I mine away the dirt, the water should flow all the way along. Okay, I forgot to put a sign there. Hold on. Get there, you stupid sign. There we go. That's sorted. Well, it's probably going to be better for the farm if I break this sign and make it higher by 1. Or even better, what if I made this underneath the water ice? That would make it even better. Anyway, you know what? We don't need to overcomplicate this. Let's just get rid of the dirt tower and also the lava on this side because it's only going to cause me problems. You see, now I can mine the middle ones and not have a problem. And if I want to go for the edge ones as well to get even more, I can just do that. I'm also curious to see if I can cactus the drops by putting a bit of sand here, cactus on top. The only question that raises is it going to stop me from getting the XP? And if we punch the aggressive man to make him angry, that is where falling pigmen should give me XP, but I don't think they really are. I think the cactus is probably messing it up. Let's get rid of that and go with this again. Yeah, look at that. We got some XP that time. Everything seems to be working as intended, so let's go and light up the rest of these portals. Look at that, he just jumped straight in. To say it looks very, very cool in here. Can I even get out? Okay, I might even be trapped. I might be going through. No, we're not. Yep, we've gone through. Okay, where have we ended up? Okay, we've ended up down here. Unfortunately, it seems like the farm isn't quite working as intended. I'm guessing it's because I don't have line of sight or something. So I'm just going to slightly adjust the design down here to make it properly work. The aggressive man is instead going to live right here, and the plan will be for the pigman to die to drowning. Okay, drowning is just taking too long. Instead, we're using a rail and a whole load of minecarts. The rail's going to go like that, and I need 24 minecarts on here. That right there should be enough. And there's also going to be a sign with some water. Yep, that's perfect. Break that. Okay, in theory, this should all now just work perfectly. And I will also need a load of snowballs to aggro the pigmen. And I do seem to be getting XP from it. Perfect, it's working. But the question is, will it be stop enough to stop my pickaxe from breaking? Well, I've been running for a bit, and it does seem like the XP is... It's generally going up as the durability, or at the very least staying in roughly the same area. Like before 1027, now we're 1046. Yeah, I think this might be renewable. My plan might actually be working. So I'm going to AFK here, get loads of cobblestone and, you know, put it to the test. I've left it running for quite a bit of time. And look at this, my pickaxe has actually gained durability, which means against all the odds, my plan has actually worked. Now I should probably gather up all this cobblestone and get back to work on the EOL farm. I'm getting so much cobblestone from that I think I'm going to need to make a bigger storage. And whilst I was trying to build that, how much Shulker... Oh my goodness, this farm is... It's just way too good. I was expecting maybe like, I don't know, 2 layers or something, not flipping stacks and stacks of them. I don't know what I'm going to do with all this. I'm going to have to use these Shulker shells to transport more Shulker shells. Definitely been a worthwhile thing building a new and improved Shulker farm. Thank you so much ENXO for the design. Although 1 layer probably would have been enough for it. I didn't need to build 3 of them. This one lonely Shulker shell now has a family of millions of Shulker shells. Let's start loading these up with cobble and also change the way this storage is so that there's twice as many chests. And it's also annoying me that every time I come into this room, there's no ender chest. If I want to get to ender chest, I've got to go over here or up these stairs, and that's just extra effort that's unnecessary. So I'm thinking I could make a little hole in the wall here. And the ender chest could literally just live there. Nothing fancy. I can grab an upside down stair to go above it just so that it mirrors the other side and you can actually open it. Just a very nice little touch. There we go. This is also a great opportunity to craft loads and loads and loads of observers. All of these should keep me going for now. And before I get back to finishing the EOL storage, I'd like to grab a bunch of magenta wool, and then I'm going to change the bottom layer of this shulker farm to no longer be made out of glass. I just think it'll fit in a lot better if it's a different colour. And whether magenta is going to be the correct one still remains to be seen. Well, I'm happy with how this first one looks, so I'm going to go and change all the other glass ones to magenta wool as well. It's all been smooth sailing changing this, but now I've got to do the one next to the shulker. I hope this doesn't go wrong. You know what, I'm going to just stand back a little bit. I go like that. Okay, are we good? Did he get angry? I think we're alright. Let's just move that. Oh no, how am I going to do... How are we doing the one next to all those snow golems? You know what? No one's going to know if I just leave a window there. You know, wait, I can do it. No, I've got a plan. Here on the SB737 channel, we do not do half a job. And speaking of half a job, guys, I'm trying to hit 4 million... Okay, that was a little too zoomed in, but I'm trying to hit 4 million subscribers this year. So if you're enjoying the video, it would be amazing if you could subscribe. And I just realised that that's all I have to do because, yeah, look at that. Piece of cake. And now back to changing these walls. And finally, I have done it. Was it worth it? Well, you know what? I think it looks a lot better now. Before having glass at the bottom, it just didn't make it look all together. I would like to add another layer, but it'll clash with that portal, so I think we're done with it. Now to also get rid of this big train track bridge, and that is mission accomplished. Even though this old shulker farm is kind of not going to be used anymore, it's going to stay here because, you know, it's a good memory. Let's also pick up all this junk that I've got lying all over the ground now, which is apparently despawning right before my very eyes. Okay, this is not good. We better get a move on. And I think that's enough of that. On the plus side, I got so much glass back from mining all of that up. Glass which I'm sure will come in useful later on down the line. My pigment farm is not working, and this tells me something might have gone wrong. I don't know what's gone wrong, but does it involve shulkers? Like, is there just a shulker overload? Somewhere there is a portal, I think, that is sending shulkers through that. Aha! All I've got on me is an axe. I'm just gonna have to go for... Oh my goodness, okay. There's a lot of them. I don't know exactly how many, but... What is going on? It's just a ridiculous noise at the moment. I've got to be careful that this isn't how I die to the hand of 100 shulkers. They're just everywhere. I thought they'd maybe all gone, but... There's just loads through here as well. I'm not sure why that happened, but I hope it doesn't happen again. And I got 43 shulker shells from that, so I guess that was a bonus. And now I can actually use my gold farm to mend my pickaxes. Everything's now fully repaired. I think it's time I got back to building shulker loaders. Although I just realised I need more droppers and dispensers. Has to be said, dispensers are one of the most annoying things to craft. They just take forever. It's all because bows don't stack, so you can only do one at a time. But that is now mission accomplished. And before I add to these, I want to change something here because I've realised if I throw an item... Notice how this extends, and sometimes mobs will land on this slime. Maybe some baby slimes will land on it, and they won't take the full damage. So I just need to make a few adjustments to this system. This observer will go here, and the piston will push a block as normal. We have a repeater coming out of here, and then this redstone will power it anytime anything falls down. So if I just go and put a string there, as you can see, it does that, which will be pushing this block, and it's going to go over to here and land on this bit of terracotta. So I'm just moving everything here along by one, and this is where the second piston will then push the slime and push the items. We can also have a couple of repeaters here to make sure there's enough delay. And so now when some items come down, they're going to get pushed. Okay, that didn't work. I've been playing Minecraft for 7.5 years and I still can't do basic redstone. That's going to go there, repeater there, and I think this can just be a block at the end. This needs to also be a block that can actually be pulled by a piston, like glass, something like that. Right, now when I send some items down, there we go. You can see they're going through. You can see they get pushed off there and they get pushed along. It is working and full damage is back. And now that's finally managed, I'm going to continue building loads of these shulker box loaders. Now all of the shulker loaders are complete. So now I'm going to grab an anvil, rename netherrack so it's called blockers, and start putting the items in for all of the different filters. That's all of them done on this row. And the reason I rename them is so that an item can't randomly fall in by mistake and mess it up. In theory, this entire storage should be unbreakable. And that is every single one of the blockers put in. Now to head back home and grab some shulker shells on the way. And now to collect all the different drops I need to create the filters. And these are all the different kinds of items the farm's going to give me and I'm going to need to filter for. Now to start putting all these items in. All along here it's going to be arrows, followed by bones, and then gunpowder and string. And this last strip is more for all the miscellaneous drops, so it's going to have the slime balls. I think I'm just going to do 16 hoppers of those. And then these mega drops as well, which will fill up very, very slowly. And then these final ones I'm going to leave empty. There's going to be things like bows that come across, so I guess I'll collect them. I don't really have any use for them. Although they could be a cool fuel source. I don't know. We'll just see, but I'm going to leave them open and see what happens with those hoppers. And I need to also remove this string because yeah, it's not going to be going any further. Everything is just going to stop right there. So it's almost ready. It's getting so close to being done. However, there are still a couple of things that need to be sorted. I'll need a system that collects all of the string from the spiders. So a couple of hoppers here will be useful. And now if we mine on in, I'm going to put a dropper there, one on this wall, and then there'll also be one on this side. And if I also make a stairs, I can put one here, and this will make the items that come out of these droppers more likely to go into the middle. But it doesn't matter if some of them do get stuck on this ledge, because mobs will pick them up as they go down as well. So it's just a great little system. Out of here, I'll have a comparator going into a repeater, which is going, well, it'll go into a block. And underneath that block, there will be a redstone dust, which will connect to a piston. And that piston will have an observer on it. And right here, there'll be another observer with a block there. So you can see now that if an item goes in, let's just go and chuck in some of this. You'll see, look at that. Getting dispensed out. And now to build the same thing on the other side. Comparator, repeater, redstone, piston, and observer. One final observer right here. I also need all of these hoppers to go in like this. I'm just going to make sure, there's plenty of hoppers going in. And next I'm going to create the exact same thing on this side. And this side is also done. And you're probably thinking, what else could I possibly have left for this farm to be finished? Well, you probably realise this, but spiders are a pain, Look at it, I've got all this just to deal with them. But some of the more persistent ones will manage to fall all the way down here and land on these end rods. So I better build something that's going to get rid of them. It is a pretty simple thing. It's just going to involve some gates again with lava on the outside. Pretty straightforward. But somehow, occasionally a few spiders will sneak through that as well. So to deal with that, I'm going to do the exact same thing here. And that is also now complete. But what about the few that somehow managed to get through this one as well? Well, you know what? I don't care about them. I can't really be bothered to build another one right here. In fact, I've had an idea. Any that miraculously survive that far down will land on magma. I think it actually makes sense to make this quartz magma as well, in case any mobs land on that. This farm is getting more and more efficient all the time. But yeah, it's done. It's now finished, okay? Mobs are gonna come down here and then, yeah, they're gonna get kind of stuck like this if they end up in here. And all the item sorts are done. There's just one final. I promise you guys, this is the final thing. Thank goodness. We need shulker boxes. We need lots and lots of shulker boxes. All of these ones are going to be dyed light grey. And I've already filled up all of these ones along here, as you can see. But I still need to fill up the ones that do the gunpowder, and then the ones that do the string, and a bunch of miscellaneous drops after that. And I'd love to add every single shulker box right now, but alas, I am almost completely out of wood. And that was after restocking back at my house. And that, unfortunately, is all of my wood used up, which gives me only one choice. I'm going to have to head all the way to spawn and spend a bit of time at my tree farm. And from all of that, I think I've probably now got enough wood. So I'll craft a load of chests and continue adding shulker boxes. I've almost filled up all of these, but I've now run out of black dye. I've been using wither roses to get it, so it looks like it's time to make a trip to the end. From there, I'm going to head through this gateway and fly to the wither rose farm. Now, at the moment, there's no wither roses in here. We're going to have to head up to this little AFK platform, let the enderman spawn, and the wither will do the rest. I think enough time has passed, and I've got loads more wither roses right there. And now it's time to get back to work. And that's all of these ones done as well. Now it's time for the final row. And finally, that is every single coloured shulker box done. I'm going to put a bunch of generic ones in these end ones in case they do get used. And that is mission accomplished. And now the question is it ready to now finally test? Well, of course, there is one tiny little thing I need to do. And that is to go to my storage room, grab a bunch of stone, make some buttons, and then when I press them on these barrels, it just for the first time, it will dispense the shulker box. It's just to get the farm going. I'll never have to press these ever again, but just for the first time, I'm going to do it. It really adds some colour to the area, doesn't it, now that all the shulker boxes are in? None of this stuff needs to be here anymore. I did also make one tiny mistake with the farm. As you can see, there's a tiny bit of netherrack here, which needs to be broken, but if I go and break it right now, it'll mess up the skylight suppression. So yes, you guessed it. We're first going to have to do a bit of light suppression before I can break that block. The suppressor does now appear to be working because chunks will not load. So let's break this piece of netherrack, then I'm going to quit the world. And when I load it back in, I can turn off the light suppressor, and the skylight suppression on the farm will have still been successful. So let's turn on the redstone mechanisms, turn off the mob switch. That way hostile mobs will be able to spawn. And in fact, just before I do test this farm, I'm worried about this. I don't think this system is reliable enough, because when I unload the chunks, these tend to stop working for some reason, and that could cause me problems with the farm when I'm not here and I wouldn't know about it. If I'm AFK and how am I going to know what's going on in the nether? Pretty simple solution for it though. We're just going to run this clock to go up higher. If I put a torch here, you can see that is now moving in and out with the clock. I'll also do the exact same thing on this side. And look at that, it is working perfectly. And that means I can run it up even higher. And with that, all of that redstone is done. If I push the button, it's all working perfectly. At some point I'll add an on-off switch where it blocks the redstone, but I'm not going to do that right now. And now, guys, I think it's time for a heartbreak moment. I'm just doing the final test before I booted up the old farm, and I've made a mistake. I've made a big mistake, guys. Honestly, this is pretty crucial. Watch what happens, okay? You know what? We're gonna push an item, okay? Looks like... Okay, well, that didn't work, but let's just try again, okay? So, push an item, okay? It goes along well, goes along, stops going along. Yeah, apparently it can't get pushed 32 blocks. So I've got to move all of this in by a few blocks, all of this across by a few blocks, and I've got just 5 days to do it. Time to get serious. And there we go, it is now all moved. I'm hopefully never doing that ever again. And I've also worked out a way to make this system even more reliable by adding an extra repeater. It increases the delay and it kind of syncs it with the other pistons. Otherwise, some items will land on top of the slime block whilst it's extended, and then they won't go all the way to the edge, and then they won't get sorted. If I'd have moved all this even closer, that wouldn't have been an issue, but I thought for a moment that I'd completely messed up, but no, I can just do this and it solves it. Let's also add a 2 repeater delay on this first little piston as well. And with that, I don't think there's anything more I can do. There is loads of random shulker boxes and barrels and stuff. I will finish that another time. I am sick of working on this project, to be honest. Let's go ahead and test everything out. Now, whilst I'm using this farm, I'm going to kind of be flicking between replay mode and showing you how it works, just so, you know, you can see what's going on in the other dimension and I can explain everything properly. First things first, you can see the mobs are spawning in. Bats will also be spawning, so I'm going to turn this portal on so the bats can come back through. So about 1,100 bats are going to spawn here, and most of them will end up in the lava, but after about 45 seconds, some of them will find their way back through the portal. So that's what I'm waiting for right now. And there we go, our first one has come through. And now there's another one, and before you know it, look at that, we're getting loads of them through. We can see on the FD screen how many we've got. We've still not got enough to reach the bat cap, but now I can tell that I have got 27, 28. I'm going to let it get to 30. I can turn off the portal. Now we have a working bat switch, and over time all the bats on this side will just die in the lava. After just 2 minutes, there are only about 25 bats on this side. That's not going to cause any lag. No new ones can now spawn. And as you can see, when spiders spawn, they're going to climb upwards. The lava will take them out, and the dispensers will send out the string. The mobs will take fall damage on the moving platforms, but the items can fall through. And then the pistons will push all the items into the middle, where they go along the ice pathway and can be sorted into hoppers. When the items go over a hopper they can enter, they will go in, and this carries on all the way around until when it gets to the end and there is no items remaining. So yeah, the EOL farm is now fully complete. It collects all the items. I don't know many people who have made a full collection system for one. This particular one gets me 230,000 items per hour. It would get me more if I'd have broken more bedrock, but I just didn't have time in the last video to break loads of bedrock. And I'm going to AFK here now and see just how many shulker boxes it can fill up. I mean, this is just such an insane farm. I will never need gunpowder again, never need string, bones. You name it, this farm, you know, slime even, it's probably my fastest slime farm. It really is unbelievable. Well, we've now reached day 3,100. Everything seems to be working fine. Let's see how the farm has performed. I did also forget to turn these pistons on for a bit, so that did ruin the race. I had to come and turn it on. So I've got quite as much as I could have done, but let's see, did everything get picked up? Okay, it looks like it's not, like, we're getting too many items for the farm, because you can see a lot of items have come through. I can just send them back through the system like that, though. I see the problem with my system. Look at this, completely packed up. Because for some reason, when that goes along, it is powering the torches, which is powering the pistons, and they're not retracting. It's definitely fixable. I won't have to move the shulker loader. I'll just have to move things around here a little bit. But in the ones that actually do work, as you can see, we have got full shulker boxes. So that's a slight teething problem. Nothing I can't fix. I should have just built it a little bit lower, but yeah, nothing that I can't repair. Seems to be a problem for all of them, but as you can see, we are getting full shulker boxes. So once I fix that, this is just going to be brilliant. It's going to get me stuff so fast. And what about the gunpowder? Look at this. I'm just going to end up with loads of gunpowder, which is perfect for all my firework rockets. So yeah, I'll get that fixed for the next episode, but thanks so much for watching, guys. That was 3,100 days in hardcore Minecraft.